Hello everyone and welcome to HRL TRS Season 6, week number 7, approaching 2 months of the TRS action. Let's do our fly-through on Lorac TRS here. So there is the start at those Jersey barriers. This is one of those tracks where the start is kind of like off the track and then flows into it. So that's where the start is. We go uphill over to the right here. There's Turkey and his cheese spot, so we don't have to address that later. You go straight over here, over the bridge. You're ripping. Got this super fast downhill here. Also, those cones back there, that was the finish line, so in case you didn't notice that. We have a little split line right here. It's a tough one, but you do have an inside jump right here. It's cheesy, but if you can get it down, it can be worth it, potentially for a little like block pass type maneuver. Or you just go around the side, which I think is what most people probably will do. Go into our big, there are two collisions, but this is, I would say, like probably the big one here. So loop around here. Looping it around, then we go through. It's uphill, very difficult uphill, tricky terrain here. It's hard to manage. Go over here, and we're gonna go squeeze through this rock right here. Very tough to make it too wide through there, but is barely possible. We go through there, come up around. We're gonna slam it over to the bridge, and obviously right there will be our other collision. So yeah, two collisions on this one. Lorac, 30, I believe 30 laps. 30 laps what we're doing on this one. It's about like a 30-second lap time, I think. Now let's go get the race started. Down here we've got Detail, Armada, going from left to right, of course. Luke, Opix, Real Deal, and Soul, and then again, Turkey in the cheese spot. Sticky Det is down. Only 7 drivers in this race. We'll pick up Slaunch in the next one. He was a little late to show up, so misses out on this one, but he'll be in the next race. And Roman was visiting his furry friends, so he's not here either. Anyways, Sticky Det's down. Just waiting on it at this point. Then we're going to go green for 30 laps at Lorac. And green flag. And I'm really looking... Oh, yes, there is a cheese you can go for there. No! Oh. That is the risk. That is the risk with it. There is a cheese grab lift line that you can go for, and Soul decided to be the one to take the sacrifice this race and go for that. Did not work out very well for him. It's not recommended, but it is something that you can do. Side by side through this part of the track is pretty difficult, but so far these guys are managing pretty decent. Oh, might want to back out of that one. Yep. Very tight so far, and Soul actually is like right there. He didn't really lose that much. That wasn't that bad for Soul. First lap down. I think Luke led that one. I think it's Armada second, and Detail making a move right there to try to get into podium spot. See how this goes. Oh, aggressive move up there. That's Turkey right there, slamming it. Oh my god. This guy's got to be careful on these rocks. Big battle behind. Opix gets absolutely chowed by Soul. Oh, and they go right into the collision. Armada. That could have been worse. That could have been worse. That really wasn't that bad. I mean, obviously it killed a lot of momentum and lost him some spots, but I feel like that could have been a lot worse. Recovers as quickly as he can. And right now it's Luke, Detail. Oh, and Turkey podium, but big collision with Soul. Opens up the door for Detail. Now we're going to have a close side-by-side battle for the lead. Yep, there it is. It's very tricky, but you can pull off the 2 wide through there. Pretty nice battle for the lead. Right now, see what they do in the downhill. Luke's going to go wide, try to set it up for the crossover. Does get it, going to go for the jump line, rare run of the jump line. We're going to see it here. Actually works out pretty well that time. The side-by-side battle continues, and they're still ripping. But eventually Detail will get the spot there. That was a really good battle for the lead on that lap 3. Now Turkey trying to track down Luke for second place here. And we can leave that on, actually. I think that's fine. There we go. Yeah, I actually kind of like this, so you can see where everybody's at. I do want to get a nice shot at some point of that, the people running over the bridge. I mean, yeah, we basically just got it, but that's pretty cool. I like that part of the track. Getting the drivers that are super far off of the laps and separated and seeing how they are on top of each other there. Even though they don't, I mean, you can't really tell during the race. You can't really tell when people are on the bridge above you or below you, really, but it is a thing. Turkey and Luke having a pretty good battle right here. Turkey did have the spot, but he bogs a bit. Luke has a strong run there. Detail getting pretty close with Real Deal for the collision. Not making it happen, though. And I think Luke just trying to hold on to the spot from Turkey. Turkey being very aggressive right now. Looking every single opportunity he gets, trying to get his nose in there and trying to take one of those spots. And still pretty... Oh, that's not going to help Turkey. That's not going to help Turkey. Well, that's a problem. That part of the track, okay, that was close. That was like a nice last-second swerve right there because that collision did not look good. For Detail, let's see what he's looking at going into these collisions. This is why being in the lead can be kind of rough sometimes. Sometimes you're in prime position for these collisions. That one... not so bad, although he does... Actually, that wasn't too bad. That transfer in the uphill wasn't too bad, so maybe he'll be fine here, too. Oh, it's pretty close, but I think Turkey... quick rewind. I think Turkey cheesed this a little bit. Real Deal and Turkey battling for podium, and... oh, yeah, Turkey just got in too wide. Maybe he was trying to... maybe he thought collision was going to happen, and he went a little too wide trying to dodge it. I don't know, but either way, they make contact. Real Deal takes the spot. Let's take a look at the back here. So this is the backpack. This is the battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th. And these guys are actually close with each other right now. Armada leading the pack right now, then Sol, then Opix. And yeah, it's actually a pretty close battle between them. And yeah, they've got a pretty big gap. Oh, look at Sol, the aggressive move right there. But honestly, pretty clean. He's going to take the spot on Armada there. Oh, and Armada just went for it. And I think that's what he's been talking about, getting that aggression. And that was definitely an aggressive move right there. Sent it back on Sol. And, okay, that... I was going to say, we might have a collision down here. Oh, that cheese, that mistake. Yeah. Oh, that wasn't even a collision. That was just a total cheese on the rock out of Luke there. And you're probably going to see this... okay, well, Real Deal kind of hit it. He didn't completely cheese himself, but, well, Turkey kind of cheesed it afterwards, too. But those... these rocks right here, like, if you look under it where the grass is, where the foliage, I don't know. See how it, like, kind of pops out from the bottom, like, more than you expect it to? Like, it looks like... you look at the top of the rock, and you feel like that's what you're dealing with, but really the rock sprawls out a lot more than you think it does. And also the barriers are kind of cheesy with it, so combination of that makes that a pretty treacherous part of the track. It's actually, I would say... the hardest part of the track is the rocks jut out so much right there that it's almost like a mini chicane a little bit, because again you have to dodge it a lot more than you think you have to. So that's definitely the part of the track that you want to watch out for, that all these drivers are going to be watching out for. You want to try to be as clean as possible. You can see Real Deal. It looks like he's missing the apexes. It looks like he's going really wide, but he's not. He's actually hitting it perfectly pretty much, because again it juts out a lot more than you think it does. A lot more than you think it does. So you have to be really careful in this whole part of the track. Already over a third of the way through this race. Detail makes a minor mistake right there, but not too much. But you know, he's just delaying the inevitable, because he's gonna have to deal with some lap traffic in a little bit, and that can definitely be frustrating. This track, while you can definitely gain time on this track, it is a pretty difficult track to pass on. There are some wide open areas of the track, but most of the parts of the track where you can really gain time are super tight. So it's... oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. That's going to cost Detail some time right there, and there's Luke in second. It's obviously going to give him a little bit of gains, but not enough to take the lead, and not really enough to go into collision zone either. So I think that's not going to do too much for him yet. Sol and Armada having a pretty good battle for fifth here, it looks like still. But yeah, it's tricky with the section that was so close with Opix and Armada. Wow, that was a close call. Sol trying to make it work right there, not gonna happen. But yeah, so this track again, you can definitely make up. I mean, we could see it with the gaps. The gaps halfway through the race, what they're looking like already. It's very obvious that you can definitely make up some time on this track. There's definitely some areas to improve on. But again, that being said, it's a very tricky track to pass on. The passing zones are just super tight. So the areas where you're going to make up time, the areas where you might have a chance to make a pass, are hard enough to pull off too wide. You know, like you're barely making it too wide, and you're also like trying to pass somebody. You're racing them hard, like we see with Optics and Detail right here. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. So that makes this track. That's kind of what makes this track interesting, I think, is that balance. And here you go. If you're able to set it up like Detail did right there, then that can be a potentially pretty good passing zone. Oh, and wow, Optics actually got the worst of that one. Oh, and Luke recovering off his soul. He got some contact there too. But yeah, so you can see it with them, how he was able to set it up in the downhill. The thing is, you're not always able to set it up like that, but that is one of the better ways to pull off the pass. If you can get side by side on the right here, like Detail was, and then pull off the crossover into the downhill, because what ends up happening, and you saw it there, is there's that little bump on the right side right there. So if you can get to the driver's inside, you can force them into that bump, and then usually you'll have the run into this long left-hander, and it'll just, you know, you'll end up prevailing in the end. It's usually what ends up happening, but it's one of the better places to make a pass. It's just very difficult to actually do it. Yeah, it's definitely the best spot to do it, but it's even then it's difficult. So this track is a whole puzzle that you need to figure out if you want to make moves on this one. Definitely have to be patient, and usually it's a mistake. It's a avoid mistakes type track. I'd say generally that's what this one is generally you just want to avoid the mistakes, you know, ride behind somebody, try to like stay close to them, try to not let them get too far away, and then, you know, when they make a mistake, when they take something too wide, or maybe they take something too far inside and like clip a rock or something, and then that loses them time, and then you strike. It's kind of one of those tracks. Difficult to make the passes happen on track. You kind of just have to try to force people into the errors and then take advantage that way, and that's always a different type of racing. So keeps things interesting. Definitely different for a lot. I wouldn't say most, but like a lot of TRSs as well. Because Turkey, you gotta watch out for those rocks, man. Because a lot of TRSs have like full send areas, like areas where you can just absolutely go for like massive momentum and like make moves on people, and you know, usually it'll be a little wide open, but that's not the case in all of them, and it's definitely not the case in this one. I should have mentioned it in the beginning too. This is the short track. Well, it's just a little... Okay, wow. Detail got Soul really bad right there, and it got him a little bit too, but Soul full dismounted and had to flip the goose. He definitely got the worst of that one. Detail still has a pretty good lead, but it did cost a little bit of time, so if he gets one or two more of those, you know, maybe it could make things interesting. But yeah, it's short track special, so all the tracks in this night are what I would consider short tracks. This one's the longest one. But it's like this one's like bordering on being an intermediate, I would say. It probably technically is, but for a lot of the TRS tracks that we've been racing this season, where they've been freaking minute-long plus lap times, I would argue that this is a short track compared to those. So even though this should be an intermediate... Oh, and Detail actually cheesed it on his own right there. And it's kind of crazy how that worked out. Cheeses the rock here, and look at this. This could have been collision moment with Luke, but instead, look at how close they come. And actually a little bit of contact, I think. I think Luke did make oh yeah, definitely a little bit of contact, but overall it wasn't that bad, and it ended up being a pretty good recovery. If Detail got a dismount right there, you know, that definitely could have been pretty rough. But without the dismount, not too bad. And he's going on 7 to go, so trying to pick up his 13th. Yeah, it's a lot. 13th moto win on the season here. If he can hold on for 7 more laps. He's got a pretty good gap on second right now, so it's looking good. Real Deal in front of us is the 3rd place driver, and Luke's got a pretty good gap on him too, so the gaps on this one have definitely stretched out quite a bit at this point. I don't think that'll be the case on the other tracks that we have tonight, or I hope, because the other tracks, again, are like more extreme short tracks. One of them even dips into below 20 seconds of lap time. It's between like 16 to 20 seconds are your lap times on there, depending on how good of a lap you run. So yeah, between like 16 to 20. So that one will be pretty fun. Reach track as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one because we don't have too many of those like extreme short track, or at least like for a little bit in the schedule. Oh, there we go. And that actually helped out quite a bit. Armada getting Detail right there actually helped out quite a bit. That was a lot of time he lost on that one. But again, still no dismount. If Luke wants to catch up this gap, I think what he's going to need at this point, what he's really going to need is a dismount. A dismount would help him tremendously. But right now it's like just enough of a gap. And you still got to get by Ramda too. So it's going to be pretty tough. That being said, I mean, they were in collision range, and you never know if somebody makes a mistake, could be back in collision range. If Luke gets by Armada and Armada makes a mistake right here, he could go to collision range. You never know. We could still have a battle here, but at the moment, it's looking like Detail's looking pretty strong for another 4 laps on Lorac. I almost spoiled the Trek name, the basis of it. Gotta stop doing that. But yeah, so this Trek was pretty cool. I wish Launch would have been in this one. I think having the extra strong driver would have helped this race quite a bit, and I think it will when he jumps in for the other ones tonight. That being said, though, another pretty cool layout, and we have done some races on this map before, but those layouts were very different, very different. I'd have to go back and see if we have any videos on those races, but yeah, just trust me, those layouts were very different. So this one's definitely unique compared to those, I would say. But now we're getting to 2 to go. 2 laps to go. Detail's got to hold on to it 2 more times, and he'll pick up his 13th moto win on the season, which again is just absolutely absurd. And this is the 25th race, so that's a ridiculous win rate. It's having a really dominant season so far. He's trying to continue it here. If he can just hold on for another like lap and a half. Definitely the championship favorite at the moment with on this week 16 races to go. Well, it'll be 15 after this one, but 16 races to go, which is still a lot of time, and there's still a lot of battles in the points, and things could still get interesting, but it's definitely getting to that point in the season, especially with how long of a season it is, that the points are starting to get gapped out more and more. That being said, there's still some pretty good battles, and now that we're like past the halfway point, maybe we bring the recap back and take a look at that later on in the night. But anyways, that was it right there across the finish. The nice drift. I'll get the shot for you. The nice drift across the line. Okay, that wasn't good enough. I'm upset with myself. That looks cooler. So Detail will take first. Luke will come in second. And the Gapplebees. There he is. Real Deal coming home in third. Now where's Turkey? There he is. Turkey. Surprised he didn't do anything at the finish. Turkey in fourth. We got... And I'm trying to see, are these guys off lap? Okay, these guys are off lap still. So Opix might be in last. He might be in last, like 2 laps down, essentially. So this might be the finish right here. And they were kind of close. But it looks like Armada will take 5th and Soul will take 6th. And then Opix will come across one more time to come home in 7th. So there you go. Your Lorac TRS race. Definitely an interesting layout on this one. I'm sure we have... I mean, there's definitely potential for other layouts on this map as well. That being said, still trying to get the mix of layouts. Trying to get these maps that aren't used as often, while we still have some more races in the season to do so. That's always been a goal this season. But anyways, there you go. There's your shot. Detail taking home 13th moto win. Pretty crazy. Luke in second, and Real Deal rounding out the podium on that one. And let's move on to the next race. It's going to be a reach track, and we'll wait till we go on it for me to pronounce it. All right, see you there.